Welcome to the NIHR Dementia Researcher podcast, brought to you by dementiaresearcher.nihr.ac.uk in association with Alzheimer's Research UK and Alzheimer's Society, supporting early career dementia researchers across the world.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Dementia Researcher podcast. I'm Adam Smith, and today I'm joined by the awesome Dr. Claire Sexton, Director of Scientific Programs and Outreach at the Alzheimer's Association, and most importantly, one of the brains behind the Alzheimer's Association International Conference, or AAIC for short, which is going to be the topic of today's podcast. Claire is here to give us a peek behind the curtain and give us an idea of what we can expect from the world's largest in-person and online dementia conference. But that's enough from me. Hello, Claire, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Adam. Pleasure to be here.
So before we start, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
I work for the Alzheimer's Association, where I work on AAIC. I also work on our other suite of scientific conferences that happen year-round, and iStart, our membership society, and the 29 different peers that are within iStart as well. So all of those initiatives I'm involved with.
And this isn't your first time on the podcast. You were here this time last year telling us about last year's AAIC. And of course, for anybody who's a regular listener, you'll be aware that we work with Claire at Dementia Researcher on our work with iStart as well. And you saw recently we published the survey results from the early career researcher engagement work we've been doing. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Claire. For those who aren't aware, when and where is the AAIC, and can we still book tickets?
Yes, so AAIC starts on July the 31st and then it runs through till August the 4th. There are also some pre-conferences happening before, and there are tickets still available. So it happens in San Diego in person, so it's possible to book for in-person tickets, but it's also possible to attend online. So the main conference is a hybrid conference, so all of the scientific sessions that will be happening in person is also possible to be attending them online wherever you are in the world.
Brilliant. And am I right in thinking, if I remember rightly, you're going to correct me here, but do iStart members go free if they attend online?
Yes, so we wanted this to really be, we wanted to kind of keep breaking down those barriers about how people can attend and how people can engage. So it's free for students and anyone based in a low and middle income country to join iStart. And then if you're an iStart member, then you can attend AAIC for free virtually. So really we want to be bringing the whole of the dementia science community together. So we kept that at the forefront of our minds when we were looking at the registration options.
Right. Okay. So join iStart for free as a student, or if you're based in a low or middle income country, then join the conference for free. That's like a good deal, right? Yeah. Or I think so, but I might be biased because I love the AAIC. It's one of my favorite conferences of the year, and what I really love about it is how broad the program is. It covers so many things, but I don't want to give it away just yet. So thanks for telling us. That's enough of the basics. Tell us who is speaking this year, Claire.
So we have thousands of presenters this year. So I'll just note some of the plenary speakers.
Thousands and thousands.
Thousands, considering, from plenary speakers through to all our poster presenters. So there's lots to cover there. But I'll give some details just of some of the plenary speakers. So, these speakers, are key people in the field, and they'll be presenting the big picture of their research areas. And as you said, it's really broad. So on Sunday, it begins with Carole Escartin from France, who'll be talking about astrocytes and neurodegenerative disorders. And then closing on Thursday, then we'll have Linda Lam from Hong Kong, who'll be talking about non-pharmacological care, behavior change, and mild cognitive impairment. The one that I'm most looking forward to during the week is on the Tuesday, which is the plenary by Margot Kuchar, who will be talking about aging in homeless populations. So I think that's an area that we haven't seen on the big stage at AAIC before. It's tremendously important. So that's going to be one of the highlights that I'll be looking out for.
And I guess the AAIC can often set the tone for for highlighting what's seen as being important, because the scientific committee there kind of, well, I'm assuming it's the scientific committee choose who the big plenary speakers are. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so we have a scientific program committee. They are broken into different themes from basic science, biomarkers, clinical manifestations, drug development, public health, dementia care. And then they work together in the autumn each year to look at, who should be invited for the plenary as plenary speakers and who should be invited for some of the symposiums as well. So that's the kind of invited portion of the program. But then we also have the submitted portion. So, every January, then we receive thousands of abstracts. And from those abstracts, then oral sessions are curated, and then also there's acceptances for poster presenters as well.
And I mean, I've been going to the AAIC for a few years now, and you can't help but notice that increasingly the majority of people who are there are actually early career researchers. So I assume many of those thousands you just mentioned are actually early career researchers, some of which will be there for a big in-person conference for the first time.
Yes, and we've seen a growth in early career researchers then over the past couple of years as well, because with the widening access. And we wanted this year then to have even more opportunities for students and postdocs to be presenting their works.
This is awesome. So what else is new at the conference?
So we have lightning presentation rounds for the early career researchers, so that there's additional opportunities for them to be presenting. That's presentations from students and from postdocs. We also then have these research retrospective sessions, which are in a break in the afternoon. And at these, then some of the AAIC award winners, including some of the Lifetime Achievement Award winners, will be looking back over the course of their career, and they'll be discussing both, the scientific advances that have occurred throughout their career, but also, the personal stories from their careers as well. So these will be, great opportunities to be getting insights from leaders in the field.
That's really cool, because one of the great things about that I love about the AAIC is I mean, at any one time there's about 30 rooms got things. I mean, you're going to tell me it's more like 50, but it feels like there's about 30 rooms with things going on in them, and I think you can usually find something for you. But I guess with sessions like that going on, I mean, they're for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a clinician or whether you're a lab-based researcher or care researcher. Hearing people talk about their careers retrospectively and things like that, brilliant, can provide brilliant insights, particularly for ECRs, who I know so many of our listeners are.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we want for AAIC. We want it to be somewhere that you can come and you can, hone in on that area of research that you're engaged with, and have, be hearing the very latest findings and networking with those people in your field, but also an opportunity where you can take a step back and you can look at the bigger picture of dementia research through these types of sessions, through the plenaries, and to be seeing what connections there are that can be drawn between your research and other areas of research as well.
Great. And we've talked about iStart a little bit already, and iStart members play, a big role in this, and particularly the kind of different peers and executive committees there. And members will probably be aware, but there's, alongside the AAIC, there are some other events taking place, and peers are involved in the conference as well. What's iStart up to throughout the conference? So
iStart are very busy. So then on the Saturday, then there's Peer Day, which is free for all iStart members to attend, and there'll be an introduction to iStart. There'll also be a number of different scientific sessions by individual peers, and you'll be able to meet their executive committees and find out how to get more involved. And then during the week, then there's mentoring breakfasts, which are being led by the Alliance of Women Alzheimer's Researchers, or AWARE, and also the Diversity and Disparities peer. AWARE are also having a panel discussion. So then there's, a variety of different opportunities. I wanted to also hand back to you, because there's the iStart workshops, which will be happening on 3 lunchtime. So we're talking about, how many different parallel sessions from, peers influence, then we not only have, one topic per day for the student workshops, but 5 now.
So this is my opportunity to get a plug in for my stuff, isn't it? So the Peer iChair, the PIA to Elevate Early Career Researchers, has a session during the Peer Day. In fact, actually, no, I'm going to take a step back. So we're hosting one of the preview sessions, which is a chance for us to talk about what our peers up to and give some of the early career researchers who join our preview session a chance to meet each other and maybe make some connections, because I know it can be daunting going to a conference like this on your own for the first time. So we'll be having a networking session on our preview day. And then as part of the peer day, we've just worked out our agenda just a few days ago, where we're going to specifically do some career workshopping to look at some of the career challenges, building off the back of the survey results we published a couple of months ago now, to try and get to understand what we can change and to help inform our future work on that. So any early career researchers, if you're not already a member of the Peers Peer, tick the box, come to our session. And as you mentioned, we've got the Pop-Up Academy, which will be running during the lunchtimes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that will have, I think, is it 15 sessions? I've already forgotten. There are 5 zones, which includes a publishing zone, a funding zone, a skills zone, a patient and public involvement, and a careers zone. So they're the 5 zones, and in every one of those areas there'll be a different workshop happening each day that can take up to 30 people in each of those different workshops, and they cover everything from like grant writing. We've got one on how to make your lab more sustainable. There's sessions with some of the journals talking about what they look for in peer review. Goodness, there are so many. There are 15. I'm not going to list them all out. But you don't have to pre-register for these. You just have to come along and get some free lunch for iStart. No, it's not for iStart. It's just for students.
For students and postdocs.
Yeah. So students and postdocs, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, come and find the Pop-Up Academy, get your lunch, find a session you're interested in. Some of the other peers have been involved in this as well, and they've come up with some fantastic sessions. Things like how to read an MRI or how to administer a cognitive test, how to engage communities in public to recruit to studies, things like this. It's a brilliant program, very excited, and it's the first time we've done it as well. That's my sales pitch. So we all know going to an in-person conference is taking a little bit of getting used to. Well, I should add that Claire and I are actually in the same room. This is probably one of the few podcasts we've recorded in person in ages, but we're in the same room at a conference right now. And you can't help but notice that there's some great social and networking going on that you don't quite get at some of the online conferences. There's also, people, different comfort levels about how close they want to be with other people and things like that as well. What have we got planned for the social and networking side of the AAIC, Claire?
There's various options. So in the evenings on the Sunday, there's an opening reception. Then we have an AAIC after hours reception on the Tuesday, and the iStart reception on the Wednesday evening as well. So there's opportunities just to be socializing and kind of networking. And then follow up then if you're not staying up too late and can be up early in the morning. Those mentoring breakfasts start at 6:45 a.m. We're also offering yoga that people can sign up for, and there's a fun run on one of the mornings as well. So there's all different opportunities for depending on what somebody's comfort level is. There's still those opportunities to be networking.
I've just started running and I still can't quite join that word fun and run together. So there's a run which you can go on as well. Well, honestly, there's so much going on with the conference. What about online? How does the online side work?
So with the online, we wanted it to be so that it is integrated that hybrid experience. We didn't want it to be that the people who are attending online can just watch on-demand presentations, or who have a separate conference at another time. We wanted it to be that able to go to the same sessions that are happening in person. There's also additional virtual-only sessions, and can be submitting questions to the speakers. So then this is just the same as if you were in the room and wanted to be submitting a question. So, it's all happening during the same week so that we can bring everyone together. And there's, all the additional posters as well. So there's lots on the online platform, and it's available then also for 30 days post-conference. So that's, a great resource, I think.
Actually, you make a good point there, because if you're attending in person, you're only going to probably see the in-person conferences posters actually there. You're going to have to go online. So even people who attend in person should remember your laptop, because there might be some things which are only online which you need to see.
Yeah, and there's a special viewing room. So then if there's a virtual session going on that you want to be attending while you're at the conference, you can go to the virtual viewing room with your laptop, and there'll be headphones there, and you can it's kind of like a silent disco, I guess. But for
I was going to say,
scientific session.
It sounds like a cinema. That's cool. So, right, actually, that works really well, doesn't it? My voice suddenly went high pitch, but that sounds great, because I guess actually you could argue that the online people have access to everything, whereas the people in person only have access to the bits that are happening in person. But not if you've got the cinema with the headphones. Great work. All right, so we're coming to the end now, so let's recap. If you're not already a member of iStart and you're listening and you're based in a low or middle income country, or you're a student, you can go join iStart for free, which gives you then free access to register for the online Person This conference. Of course, however, in-person attendance is going to be amazing. It's in San Diego, probably one of the best times of year, and there's lots of events going on throughout the week, both that won't be online, like the mentoring sessions in the morning, the breakfast sessions, the networking events in the evenings and things. So if you can make it work, I think it's going to be a great event to be in person at. Also, as well, if you're attending online, you're going to have access to all the sessions, so don't worry if you can't make it in person, but do still register. Even if you can't escape your day job for a whole week to immerse yourself in this, the platform's open for 30 days afterwards, so you can dip in and out, pick and choose the sessions you're interested in. But you won't if you don't register, so go away and register now. You can do that at als.org/AAIC. And if you're an early career researcher, there's so much going on for you that the peers have been involved in. These preview events, the peer day, the student sessions on a lunchtime, the morning mentoring sessions, as well, of course, as a whole ton of science, the latest research for everybody, whether you're a care researcher working on qualitative research, clinical, lab-based, there's something for everybody. God, I should be employed by the AAIC, I think. Thank you very much, Claire, for joining us today. I'd also like to highlight that we'll be releasing 5 special iStart Relay podcasts on the peer days. This is the 3rd series we've done of this. So if anybody's listening now, if you scroll back to last July, you'll see the last season of this, with the professional interest area representatives being interviewed and then going on to interview their colleagues. And this year we're joined by people from the body fluid biomarkers peer, the atypical Alzheimer's disease peer, the reserve and resilience and protective factors PIA, immunity and neurodegeneration peer, and the technology and dementia peer. I did have their names, but I haven't checked on how to pronounce them all yet, and I didn't want to make everybody's names wrong. But they're all great people we're going to be interviewing, and there'll also be video versions of that podcast on our YouTube channel. Thank you again, Claire. Is there anything else I've missed that you should add?
No, I think we covered most things there.
Great. So thank you all again, and I'll look forward to seeing you in San Diego.
Thank you. See you then.
Brought to you by dementiaresearcher.nihr.ac.uk in association with Alzheimer's Research UK and Alzheimer's Society, supporting early career dementia researchers across the world.